Good morning, my dear students. So, this is the fifth video lecture on synchronous motor drives in the power semiconductor drive subject. So, before going to the today's class on current source inverter fed synchronous motor drives, so let us summarize the contents covered in earlier class. So, in this regards, in earlier class we covered the voltage source inverter fed synchronous motor drives. So the general structure of the voltage source inverter fed synchronous motor drive, and that is to be operated in three modes: square wave inverter, PWM inverter, and chopper with square wave inverters. So again we discussed the square wave inverter in both self control mode as well as separate control mode, and PWM inverter with both self control as well as the separate control mode, and also a chopper ped synchronous motor drive with variable frequency, variable supply also covered, and along with that the cycloconverter ped synchronous motor drives is, so the generalized block diagram of the cycloconverter ped synchronous motor drive, and along with the in detailed synchronous motor drive in self control discussed in earlier class. So let us start the today's class with current source inverter fed CSI, current source inverter fed synchronous motor drives. Yes, so this concept is very familiar. Why? Because the same concept discussed in induction motor drives also. So let us start this. So synchronous motor draws a stator current that is independent of stator frequency when voltage by frequency and excitation voltage by frequency are maintained constant, and by neglecting the resistance of the armature. Is, so the motor here develops a constant flux as well as constant torque. So therefore ultimately what we concluded here is, by controlling the stator current we can have a flux and torque, both are controlled. So a synchronous motor fed from a current source inverter can have either self control or separate control. Both modes of operation is possible by varying the current. Is, so due to the more advantages of self control, you have to be considered the self control modes operation here. So due to more stability, self control is more preferred by using either rotor position sensing or induced voltage sensing. So therefore motor operates in commutator CLM, commutator less motor mode. When fed from a CSI, the synchronous motor can be operated at leading power factor, so that the machine voltages can be used for commutation. So this is the one more important point here. Already we define what is the load side commutation and what is the line side commutation. So line commutated inverter is one where the line voltages are used for the trigger commutation purpose. So load commutated inverter is one where the machine voltages are used for both commutation as well as the controlling purpose. So that is the reason, that is nothing but the load commutated inverter. So therefore a load commutated PET CS, load commutated PET, a load commutated synchronous motor fed CSI drive is also known as the converter motor. It's also known as converter motor and has good stability characteristics. So here also, for obtaining the synchronous motor speed control with the current source inverter, the commutation is giving higher priority. So there are different types of commutation techniques used for the inverter. In this regards, the first case is CSI as a load commutated inverter. So this diagram is very familiar in load commutated inverter. Is, so a three-phase AC supply which is fed to a line side converter. Line side converter, it has act as a rectifier, so that the three-phase AC supply is converted into DC, and this DC is to be passed through a filter, the DC link having a filter which can purify or improve the voltage, and the improved voltage is given to the inverter, which is the converter, which is operating as inverter mode. That is the angle in between 90 to 180 degrees. The firing angle is in between 90 to 180 degrees, so that it converts DC into AC and fed to the stator of the motor. Yes. So this drive has it is almost seems to be a load commutated inverter. It has an ability to both motoring operations as well as braking operations. Regenerative braking is also possible with this drive. Yes. So see here, and with help of the rotor position sensing or voltage induced voltage sensing, you can sense the speed of the motor, that is the actual speed, and that should be compared with a reference speed. So is there any error which is to be here, which is available with the comparator? So this error is processed in the firing circuit, and the line side pulses has to be changed. Yes. So this is the closed loop CSI PET load commutated inverter. Load commutated inverter. And one more important thing you have to be identify here. A phase control is see here. So this one, this is a control rectifier. A phase control rectifier is required on line side, which results in a low power factor is in the line side, and also voltage spikes are present because of subtransient reactance of the thyristors. Is see the drawbacks of this type of operation, and thus those the subtransient reactances or oscillations are to be overcome with the help of the providing a damper winding here. Is damper winding should be used to overcome the problem. And load commutated inverter fed synchronous motor has lower speed limit, the speed ranging uh, above 10% of the base speed to the its rated speed or base speed. So lower speeds this system cannot be useful. That is the major drawback of the CSI as load commutated uh, inverter. So the major drawback is speeds cannot be getting from zero speed to the up to its base speeds. So it can give the speed 10% of above base 10% of above speed to the up to the rated RS base speed. So therefore, when synchronous motor is fed from CSI, the motor currents are quasi square wave. It is it is if the current is quasi square wave, and instantaneous commutation is to be provided. Due to this behavior, harmonics present in the stator current and may cause additional losses as well as heating, and also torque pulsations. All these are the problems. So due to this, the CSI is inherently capable of regeneration. Why? Because the reversal of power flow from source to the load as well as load to the source are possible, and also capable of providing poor coordinate operation also. So it is having its own advantages as well as disadvantages, but this drive has a advantages point of regeneration is possible, and also poor coordinate is also possible. But the major drawback of this system when current source inverter is operated as load commutated inverter is, so it gives it does not give speed from 0 to its base speed. The speed control does not gives from 0 to its base speed. It gives 10% of above the base speed, 10% of the above the base speed to the so up to its rated speed. So this is the some of the drawbacks when the current source inverter is operated as a load commutated. So to avoid this drawback, what can you do in the sense? You can go for the another method of commutation, which is the CSI as a post commutated inverter. Yes. So forced commutation. Commutation, oh, you know, it is the process of turn off the thyristor. That is the only. So load commutated in the sense the thyristors are taking the machine voltages for commutation purpose. That is nothing but load commutated inverter. But forced commutation is a different issue where with help of some external circuits we are turn off the thyristor. This process is more familiar for us. Is so forced commutation are provided in the inverter to extend the speed range from 0 to base speed. So the drawback what we have 10% of above speed, 0 speed to the base speed, that drawback is to be overcome here. Forced commutation is provided in the inverter to extend the speed range from 0 to base speed. The cost of the inverter increases due to forced commutation. This is obviously increases. External auxiliary thyristors are required, capacitors are required to turn off the thyristors. This obviously the cost of the thyristor circuit is to be increased. The machine is operated at unity power factor. Okay. The efficiency is improved and the drive can be used at low to medium range in commutatorless motor mode. So, here in the above case, the power ranging from medium to high power, but here low power to low range to medium range and high powers are possible in this, because the speed control from 0 to base speed is possible in this forced commutation technique. Is so among all drives possible with synchronous motor, load commutated inverter paired synchronous motor is more popular in commutatorless motor. At low speeds, the forced commutation should be assisted. So, some of the forced commutation methods is some of the forced commutation methods employed for starting and bringing the motor to speed where the load commutation overtake. So, forced commutation circuit is required only for low speed ranges. Is so the low speed ranges, see here there are different types of configurations, for the current source inverter with forced commutation. So this is the first configuration where CSI with individual commutation, So what extra it has apart from the load commutated inverter, in the sense a source side converter as usual, load side converter is as usual. In addition to this, what additionally included in this circuit is, so there are 6 thyristors. This configuration seems to be a commutator along with a capacitors. So these auxiliary thyristors as well as capacitors are used for the commutation of the current source inverter switches. Is so CSI with individual commutation. Each thyristor is turned off by one auxiliary thyristor as well as the capacitor. Is so the nothing is there here. As usually, the power flow from 3-phase AC supply to the rectifier converts DC, and here a DC link. Why this inverter is known as a current source inverter? In the sense, a large inductor is provided in the DC link, which makes the current is constant. So that is the reason this one is known as a constant current source inverter. Is so power flow point of view, 3-phase AC supply is converted into DC with help of a rectifier, and where DC link is purifying the conversion process, converted output, and then forwarded to the inverter, and inverter has inverter as well as commutator. So through the capacitors, how the supply is passing through the synchronous motor. So almost same configuration, but here additionally the auxiliary thyristors and capacitors are used for commutation of each individual switch. So that is the name itself, it is a individual commutation. So figure represents was CSI with individual commutation. A CSI using individual commutation is very commonly used. The motor operated at unity power factor. It can be seen that a large inductance is present in DC link, which makes the source current fed to the inverter is constant, and hence it is current source inverter. So whereas in voltage source inverters, a capacitor. How to differentiate current source inverter and voltage source inverters? In the sense, current source inverter has a huge inductance in series, but voltage source inductance, a capacitance. Is this the differentiation between voltage source inverter and current source inverter, and which makes the source current fed to the inverter is constant, and hence it is a current source inverter. Here each main thyristor is provided with the auxiliary thyristor for commutation purpose. That is the additional equipmentary which is added to the load commutated inverter. Here the commutation is forced commutation, not a load commutation. Yes. So that's another kind of forced commutation technique in the current source inverter is this the third harmonic commutated CSI. So third harmonic commutated CSI. See here the modifications in the circuit configuration. It is almost seems to be a load commutated inverter, except a fourth leg is added here. See the fourth leg how it is to be added. So a source side converter and a load side converter, first three consisting of as usually through DC link, and this additional fourth leg is come into picture, and with help of a star point capacitor is connected to the fourth leg, and it is commonly connected to ground. Yes. So forced commutation. Forced commutation at low speeds can also be obtained by means of auxiliary thyristor at the fourth leg of the inverter. Yes. So forced commutation is required for turn off the switches. So this is possible with help of the auxiliary thyristors which are connected in the fourth leg of the inverter. Is a commutating capacitor is connected across the star point and the common point of the two auxiliary thyristors. See here, two auxiliary thyristor common point as well as the a star point. Between this, a commutating capacitor is to be connected. Yes. So at low speeds, the voltage across the capacitor is used for commutating the main thyristor. At low speeds, the voltage across. So at low speeds, why we come to the forced commutation in the sense? In load commutation, low speeds are not possible. So that is the reason to avoid the drawback of the load commutated inverter. We come for the forced commutation DC. In this individual commutation as well as third harmonic commutation. So these special schemes are come into picture. Yes. So at low speeds, the voltage across the capacitor is used for is is used for commutating the main thyristor. So once the machine achieves the speed, once the machine achieves the rated speed where the load commutation can takes place, the fourth leg is cut off. Yes. So that means that at the initial speeds only there is a problem. So during the initial speeds, the fourth leg is come into picture. Once the machine comes to rated speeds, then uh, the fourth leg is to be cut up and load commutation can be taking place as usual. So this type of inverter is called third harmonic commutated inverters as shown above. This one is the third commutated inverter. Yes. So next. So whatever you discussed so far, that is the current source inverter per synchronous motor, right? So those closed loop operation is required for us. Those closed loop operation is required for us. So already this scheme is discussed in case of the voltage source inverter also. Voltage source inverter also. Yes, see here. So this is a open loop system. This is a open loop system without any close. A source side converter, a DC link load side converter paired to the synchronous motor. Yes. So here there are two loops. One is the outer speed loop, another one is the inner current loop. So all these schemes are making for providing the operation of the synchronous motor in motoring operation or braking operation, otherwise speeds from 0 speed to the the rated speed. All for getting all these conditions, we are providing the closed loop. Whenever you go for the closed loop systems, so the system is more accurate, gives the better stability and more accurate. So the system performance has to improve. So for getting all these functions, you can go for the closed loop systems. So here the operation point of view, so this the generalized block diagram of closed loop speed control of synchronous motor using CSA. So it implies two loops. One is the outer speed loop, another one is inner current loop with current controller or current limiter. So the speed of rotor is sensed by the speed of the rotor is sensed by voltage. This is the terminal voltage sensor of the stator is so, and firing angles of the inverter are generated accordingly is. So the actual speed is compared with the reference speed. The actual speed omega m is compared with the reference speed by using the comparator. It gives a error signal. It gives a error signal e del e. It gives a error signal which is the e omega m. E omega m. This is the error signal. Yes. So it gives the error signal E omega m. The signal is processed through speed controller and current limiter. So and gives a reference DC link current. So which is compared with again the actual current, actual DC link current, and corresponding signal is fed to the current controller as well as the firing circuit. This firing circuit generates the triggering pulse to the source side converter. This is the criteria generally whatever the process which is going. Signal is to be detected and compared with the reference pin, and there is an error. This error is to be processed through speed controller and current limiter, so that the reference DC link current is set here. This DC link current is to be compared with the original or actual current, and the corresponding difference of current is to be processed through the current controller and firing circuit, so that it generates the triggering pulse for the source side converter. So similarly, see here the sign of the speed error is the plus or minus is. So uh, the speed error is fed to the a pace delay circuit, so the error signal is positive, the motor goes to motoring, and if the signal is negative, the motor goes to braking mode. So therefore, how it is possible? In the sense, the pace delay signal, the pace delay circuit, which shifts the reference pulses suitable to obtain a control at a constant commutation lead angle, commutation lead angle beta LC. So depending upon the sign of the speed error, beta LC is providing motoring operation or braking operation. So this closed loop operation, block diagrams are more important for us if in case it is asked in the examination. So, so this is the operation of the circuit. So therefore, so far the contents covered in the during last 5 classes. This is the theoretical concept of the synchronous motor drives. So, so that the theoretical part is completely over, and the coming classes we will concentrate on the problems which are asked in the previous question papers, as well as the more frequent asked problem in the external examinations, and the problems which are mentioned in the bit bank. So so that in coming 2 classes we will more concentrated on the problems belongs to the synchronous motor drives. So it this uh, current source inverter paired synchronous motor drives, uh, today's class is over. So we will meet in the interactive session at 3 p.m. today, and the coming classes we will discuss the problems belonging to the synchronous motor drives. Thank you one and all.